Un 21 de mayo, qué buena fiesta en Cecilia. Un 21 de mayo, qué buena fiesta en Cecilia. Qué bueno estaba esto. Qué bueno estaba esto. If you see,
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing almost
Mm-hmm.
the same melody as the lead singer is doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I'm doing un 21 de mayo, qué buena fiesta en Cecilia, qué bueno estaba esto. So sometimes the threads go along thirds and
Mm-hmm.
six, and but it's mainly leading the uh, the singer part, the
Yeah.
lead singer part, and then we had something in common, and every time the versus has I would say a quiet time on the lead line, like qué bueno estaba esto. The dress has what they call pasacalle, which
Mm-hmm.
is a little pattern in
Mm-hmm.
between verses. So since we don't have since we don't have the changui bongos here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to the bongo in the changui has a lower tone, so I'm gonna try to simplify everything on one head of the bongo, and uh, and then it that tipa pata 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So that's the main
Mm-hmm.
accent of the changui. All right.
It's
One,
very,
two.
very syncopated.
Yeah,
What?
it's
Oh
it
yeah.
is. It
Oof,
is.
it's really like I'm a percussionist and I feel confident about my skills and I haven't trouble feeling the
So
feeling the beat, the downbeat.
so that when people think about the bongocero, about the changui, uh, they probably have to take care about this first, and then the rest,
Yeah.
because pa pa da pe pa pa. So it's very syncopated, and then comes the maracas. It's more stable, I would say.
That will lock with the.
Yeah, that's lo
Yeah,
amarra.
eso lo
Yeah,
amarra,
ties it. Yeah.
So let's play the changui, toast the maracas and the bongo, and then let me amplify that chorus part you were looking
Uh-huh.
for. So the chorus should be like. Vamos a guarachar con una fiesta en Cecilia. Vamos a guarachar con una fiesta en Cecilia. So, vamos a guarachar con una fiesta en Cecilia. The tres vamos a guarachar. So the tres is not doing uh, exactly the line of the vocals, but
Mm-hmm.
it's leading that.
Yeah, I see.
So that what when you say it amarra in Spanish, it blend everything.
Ties up. Yeah.
It's glue. It's like a glue.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so the maraca does that because it's a very stable pattern, and then the tres. If you don't have a tres with that kind of line in between the chorus and the tres, then you're missing something.
Yeah, and for example, in the Changui groups were using the guitar, just the guitar that we know it today, the one that you have here, or it was basically the tres and the percussion, and the percussion was basically the bongos who were lower in tone, but they were also using what I call a güiro, but I don't remember the name of it in Cuba. That's the one, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not this one, but
Wow, yeah, yeah.
this one is the closest one they made. So yeah, definitely the güiro, which is an instrument we have in Latin America.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
all over the
that's-
place.
all over
I
the
think a-
place.
It's a Caribbean instrument.
Yeah, yeah.
And yes, so I think I have this.
So if you were to add
All right.
you were doing the maracas that was doing a very steady rhythm, the bongo that it was very syncopated, right? How the widow fit into that?
It has mainly the same pattern of the maraca.
Ah,
The
okay,
same
okay,
pattern.
okay,
It's just a different color.
okay.
It is a different color. I would say something. On the son, on the Cuban son, son without G. So the maracas go chai, chaka chai, chaka chai, chaka chai, chai, right? So if we get deep into the maracas movement, this is doing just one note, and this one is doing two notes like that,
Yeah.
right? In the changui, because the maracas and the guayo were doing the same pattern. The maracas has how I let me find this in English. It's like another extra hit when it goes back.
It's like a bounce, like bounces.
Like a bouncing, exactly. Thank you. Like a bouncing. So it's chaki 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 chaki. In the Cuban song, it's chai chaki chai chaki chai, changui chaki, because it has something to do. It's feeling more, and also it's a little different than the guayo. It makes it different when
Okay.
both play together, and so yeah, that
So the
little
guayo
tiny.
will do the same as the maracas, or
Yes.
very similar. Ah, okay.
Yeah, very similar. I,
Cha.
but there's a little bouncing in behind the pattern. When you play folk music, it's you're trying to write everything. That note, I would say,
It's a ghost note.
yeah, it's like a ghost note. So yeah, it's like a bouncing. I would say, because in the song it's chai chaki chai chaki chai chaki chai. The changui chaki 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 chaki. So it makes a difference between the song and the changui.
But I don't think we listen to the guido in the changui.
To the guayo,
Yeah,
right?
the guayo.
Vamos a guarachar con un ambiente en Cecilia. 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 Vamos a guarachar. It's something that I would like to mention as the maraca, because this is a it's very the highs on this instrument. It's very loud. I do notice some changuiceros. They do more like on the body of the wire, but I really like has more flavor.
The last question that I have is with the guitar. The changui doesn't use a guitar, right?
No. Like I said, it has a tres as the only harmonic instrument on the format. A marimbula, which I bet you're missing that one.
Yeah.
The marimbula is another Afro-Caribbean instrument, and you probably will see a picture. You sit in there and then you play like keys on the little box. It has a bass. It has a bass function on the changui format, and then the bongos, the maracas, and the guayo, and then the singers.
Okay, the singer. So we can say then, just to go to the song without the G, that you have the tres and the guitar in the song.
Yep,
So
that's correct.
so you add the guitar to the song,
That's correct.
and you continue with the marimbula, the bongo, but there's a difference between the bongo in the song and bongo in the changui. Can you explain what is the difference?
Definitely. Well, the song has a bongos on their format. Thanks to the changui format, because the first bongoceros, which mean a bongo player, uh, he was a changui player who were, I would say, trying to make a living on the Cuban song format. Uh, Mainly everything was around Havana. All of this phenomenon of the song, it was around Havana, and the song bongos has something that the changui don't have, and it is what we call the martillo, like a hammer. So the martillo, it's a on beat hit. So the changui, it has another. It's more syncopated. It doesn't have that martillo, that hammer. It's a
Yeah, what for me it's very weird is how you go from that pattern of changui that is very syncopated to the other one in the song that is very straightforward, like
Right.
chaka chaka chaka. Like this is the
Well,
one that ties. It's like
it's.
like a
Let me tell you
different
something.
function.
We know mainly in the music, it's like that. The same with the Cuban music. We know our genres through the story, thanks to the famous musicians in the historic of music. And in Cuba happened the same. Like I know some of the music thanks to Miguel Matamoros, thanks to El Dúo Los Compadres, Compa y Segundo. Thanks to those musicians, now I have some recordings. I have a reference. So Compa y Segundo, Francisco Repilado, his composition were made on Shangui style and their songs.
Mm.
That's very confusing, but it's the way it is. For example, not many people know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Like not many people notice that and so the way they compose it is actually the way the Changui is a Changui style. Check it out.
So they compose it as changui, but then when they perform
No,
as a song.
and all the bongoceros. Compay Segundo died. I think he died when he was 94. Until he died, all the bongocero players on his format were from Guantanamo and Changui players. He doesn't play with any other bongocero
Okay.
that were not from Changui. Oh, at least he has to know to play Changui, because all his compositions were made. Compay Segundo was born in Las Guasimas. It is like a border between Santiago and Guantanamo. So Compay Segundo is between Santiaguero and Guantanamero. He has a lot of those roots. So I would say that's one of the reasons. That's something that I have been studying on. But definitely, the most important it is that his compositions are very into the Changui. And let me tell you why. Hace tiempo que vengo sufriendo por ti, cielito lindo, y vengo a demostrarte con loca pasión mi amor silvestre. Pero si me desprecias, te juro mi vida, me tiro en el suelo y me pongo a llorar. Hace tiempo que vengo sufriendo por ti, cielito lindo, y vengo a demostrarte con loca pasión mi amor silvestre. Pero si me desprecias, te juro mi vida, me tiro en el suelo y me pongo a llorar. No me quiere, me pongo. Esa canción, that song, is a song actually that made many musicians have played this song, and but it's definitely into a Changui style.
So
And,
that's why you were doing the bongo part of the changui
Uh-huh.
or singing the song.
exactly.
Oh, okay,
So
I see.
that your question is how the transition between the bongo on the changui style and the son. It kind of blends. It depends the musician and their experience on the music. For example, Miguel Matamoros, one of the greatest musicians from the Cuban song SON. It's it has another influence. So we have a French quarter in Santiago de Cuba called El Tivoli. El Tivoli, it's right on the bay of Santiago de Cuba, and after after the Haiti Revolution, they many colons migrate to Cuba, to Santiago de Cuba. Uh, at the time, they brought all the family. Of course, some of them were not anymore slaves. So this culture is alive in Cuba, in Santiago de Cuba. And so we got what we call La Tumba Francesa. And in La Tumba Francesa, we got a pattern, just to make it short, which is, let me do it on the bongo. This is very important for the song. So that accent was very important.
You know,
Yes, sir.
that pattern is very close, if not as similar to what in cumbia we have the el llamador. It's just as like pa pa pa.
Well,
It's just keeping it tight.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Well, we call it beaucoup on the tumba francesa.
And let me add that if you add one hit to that, you have a bomba holandés, which is the same.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
Why do we name it differently?
No, definitely.
So it's very
Definitely,
similar.
definitely.
But it's stressing which one? Number 4?
Two and
Four,
four.
2 and 4, right?
Yeah. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2.
So then Miguel Matamoros has another perspective of the song, and because it has a different influence, and so let me make a different look at just a little
So
demonstration.
you were saying that pattern in particular was very important for the song.
Oh yeah.
The influence,
It's
yeah.
something
Influence.
like let me tell you, it's very dangerous to speak about the Cuban song because it has many interpretations and many people who love the genre and many people who see the way to play it. But there's a couple things who glue all the ideas of everyone has about the song, and it's the 4/time. The 4/time, it's something that unify not only the song, like you mentioned, unify many genres around the Caribbean.
Rene, you mean the fourth beat?
The 4/time of the bar, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
So, for example, let me play a bongo pattern on the Cuban song.
Four.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 4.
And with the foot, yeah.
Four.
Yeah, you have to.
4. So, and then let me play the clave, right?
Oh, that was another question.
Claves. Pa, 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 4. 4. Everyone, it's at the end on the 4/time. It's what we call la cadencia.
So the pattern starts in the 4.
Pardon me?
The pattern itself starts in the 4, like a pickup, like because it's like 1, 2, 3,
Exactly.
dun, dun. That's where it starts. Starts on the 1. It starts before.
Exactly.
right?
When you are in a concert and then the director say, "Hey, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 bang. That's the way the band
Yeah.
start. So
But
definitely,
the claves start on the first beat of the next bar, right?
yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so that's when the clave is 3-2.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, if the director say 1, 2, 3, 4, if you know how to play the clave, you start on the 4-2. But
okay,
if you don't know,
you
you might
adjust.
start on the 2.
on the 2. Okay,
Yeah.
I see. Okay,
So
so
That's a deep dive in the clave and the
yeah,
bongo.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's very interesting because that's the way those are all the elements that you use to build a song,
Yeah.
right? A song without the
It's
G.
S-O-N, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when, now that we have the bongo, we have the clave, and you already explained the maracas. I wanna because I have heard this term many times, the term of the guajeo, and guajeo is like Guajeo.
E-A-O.
Yeah,
E-A-O-S.
guajeo.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
can
wow.
do like closed caption, or we can do something about it later on. So, what is the guajeo?
So the guajeo is the variation of one tumbao.
Okay.
What is a tumbao? The tumbao is a pattern. It's basically what we were talking about. There is a tumbao on the tres. There is a tumbao on the bass. Mainly people know the word tumbao on the tres, bass, piano. But for me, tumbao means a swing, is a groove of,
Yeah,
of
swing, yeah.
something. And so the guajeo, it's a variation of a tumbao pattern.
And
So-
Rene, what would be the difference between the word guajeo and the word montuno?
Montuno.
Yeah.
Well, the montuno, it's the beginning of the song. What we were talking about, how simple was the song, just that part of the chorus and the singer call respond. It's why they call the montuno section of the song. So, but also when they say, "Hey, play a montuno," there, it's usually the montuno. It's a simple pattern. Harmonically speaking, it's a 1, 4, and 5th grade, and has 2 bar mainly. If we're going 2x2, and yeah, basically that. But it's a more high part on the dramatic part of the Cuban song. But it has many call like we call, hey, let's go to the montuno, which is the most hard and live part.
It's interesting because for me, coming from Colombia, I have
Yep.
like in my perspective comes mostly from salsa. And to me, when we go to what you say the montuno, we say we go to the mambo. It's like el mambo, so that, okay, mambo is when we just we go
Well,
for it.
Mambo calls the montuno.
Oh, but mambo is okay. So do you see? But
Check it out.
and then like the word guajeo is actually I was because I'm as a composer actually I composed a piece that I called the guajeo, and
Check
it's
it out.
for piano and electronics. It's kind of more experimental, but I didn't know the word before until I was starting to what is guajeo, and then I found out guajeo is like montuno, but not really.
Well, it is a montuno, but I say, hey, guajeaki, it's like go and make this variation and put some flavor on the montuno, I would say. Is a that
So there are many types and many forms to do a guajeo.
yeah, definitely. Then we are on the same page. We can do guajeo on the bongos though, but it's
Okay.
it's very common on the tres.
There's a
Exactly.
word that I remember I learned from my childhood. It's called aguaje. El aguaje is like you have like el sabor, like the
Definitely.
so it sounds like guajeo might be related to
I have to translate it, I would say swing.
it's swing.
It's
Yeah,
swing,
yeah,
it's
And
Aguaje.
I think every type of music has that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just that tiny time that no one's know. Just you do it, and you just go there and hit it, and everybody goes, "Ah." So
So, but if we go back to the history of the song and we think about Arsenio Rodriguez, for example, one of the things that the Tres were doing, the
Definitely.
guajeo, the pianists started doing it in the 1940s. So it comes from the Tres, that guajeo, that montuno, and then it's the sound that we now identify with the salsa sound that started basically with Arsenio Rodriguez. It could be there are many ways to do it, right?
well, I would say it's more percussive than anything.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
more percussive than anything because That's it's a pattern. Oh, hey. It's a more percussive. This is a simple pattern, but a more syncopated. There's many ways to do a guajeo in different styles. So
It definitely, the Guajel kind of like defines, I guess, the style. It defines the tempo. It defines the harmonic sections, and it has like melody in it already, but also defines the harmony. It defines everything. I mean, it's like the core of the song. SONG. I
Yeah.
guess it's like it's these the
definitely, and
heart.
also I think it calls someone like when a guajeo, when they say guajea, they say, "Hey, speak to me, like talk to me," and bah, and then the other musicians say, "Bah," and they respond that, and the guajeo calls that. It goes like.
And also the dancers respond to that guajeo too.
Also, yeah, definitely. It's all about the dancers. That's something else I have to mention. I think I mentioned before about the party, but this is a danceable music, and the dancer are the main part. Yeah, this important part. In a way, when you compose a song that people can dance, a danceable song. I have composed also. I would say songs more in a classical modern style. But when you compose a song, an actually danceable song, it's all about the dancers. The way they don't get loose. That when I was talking about the four, they need that four. Four. You know, so definitely, dancers are very
Yeah, the,
important.
the dancers are the ones who like give energy to the performance also. You are playing with them. Also as a percussionist, been playing, and you feel that energy when you're playing salsa,
Definitely.
you're playing bongo, and you see people that they respond to the guajeo, they
They do.
respond to that part when someone is inspirando, making the soneos, they respond to that, and you respond to them. Actually, that's very
Definitely.
interesting.